I used to work the late shift at a small convenience store off the interstate. The hours were long but predictable quiet, with only the hum of refrigerators and the occasional trucker stopping in. It became my routine, my comfort. One Wednesday night, though, things felt different. The clock blinked, and exhaustion was setting in. The store was empty, the aisles stretched endlessly, and outside, the highway was silent. It was just me, the flickering lights, and the stillness of the night. Then, the bell above the door chimed. I was staring absently at the reflection of my tired face in the glass door, when I heard the familiar jingle of the bell above it. I blinked and turned to see a man walk in. His arrival was unexpected, but what really caught my attention was how he moved. He wasn't a regular, a trucker looking for coffee, or a traveler buying snacks. He stood out immediately. The man was wearing a long, heavy coat. Even though the night wasn't particularly cold, a baseball cap was pulled low over his face, hiding most of his features. But there was something strange about his presence. It wasn't just his appearance. It was the way he moved. His hands were trembling slightly as he placed a single bottle of water on the counter. It was the kind of small gesture that might have gone unnoticed by anyone else. But I couldn't help but feel a twinge of unease. The quiet of the store seemed to thicken around him, like the world outside had suddenly faded into the background. The air felt heavier now, charged with something I couldn't quite put my finger on. "Keep the change," he rasped. His voice was dry, cracked, like someone who hadn't spoken in days. I glanced down at the register, waiting for bills or coins, but he hadn't put down any money. Instead, he slid something across the counter. At first, I thought it was just a receipt, but when I picked it up, my skin prickled. It was an old photograph. The picture was black and white, faded with age. It showed a family of 4, a man, a woman, and 2 children standing stiffly in front of a house with white siding and a picket fence. Their faces were blurred, not from the photo quality, but as if they didn't want to be seen. On the back, written in shaky handwriting, were 2 words, "Find me." I looked up to question him, but the man was gone. The door hadn't chimed. I hadn't heard footsteps. He had simply vanished. My heart hammered in my chest as I rushed outside. The parking lot stretched out in every direction, illuminated by harsh floodlights. Empty. Not a single car. Not even the sound of an engine fading away. I stood there, holding that photo, feeling like the world had tilted sideways. Eventually, I went back inside, trying to convince myself. Exhaustion was playing tricks on me. I set the water bottle back on the shelf, shoved the photo into my pocket, and counted the minutes until dawn. The next morning, when my shift ended, I took the security tape before the manager could check it. I didn't know what I expected to see. Maybe proof the man was real, that I wasn't losing my mind. But when I played it back, my stomach turned. The footage showed me, standing behind the counter, talking animatedly to empty air. The bottle of water, it slid onto the counter on its own. My hands reached out, hovering in space, as though accepting money that wasn't there. Then I stared down at nothing, smiling faintly, before lifting the photograph from nowhere. There was no man in the footage, no one at all. Just me, and objects appearing where they shouldn't. I barely slept that day, my mind racing. I had to know where the photo came from. I studied the house in the picture, the porch, the fence, the angle of the yard. After hours of searching through property records and old real estate listings, I found it. The house was real. It stood abandoned in a small town 2 hours away. The records showed it had been foreclosed on 20 years ago. after the entire family who lived there vanished one night. Neighbors claimed they saw the family on their porch at dusk. By morning, the house was empty, the door left wide open. No struggle, no signs of packing, just gone. Police searched for months but never found them. Eventually, the house was boarded up, and the story faded into local legend. I stared at the photograph for hours, tracing the faces with my finger. Were these the missing family members? Was the trembling man in the store one of them? Or had I been speaking to something that wasn't alive at all? That was my last shift at the store. I didn't quit officially. I just never went back. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that man's trembling hands, heard his rasping voice, "Keep the change." The photograph still sits in a drawer in my apartment. I don't work nights anymore. I've avoided gas stations and convenience stores entirely. But sometimes, when I'm driving down the interstate, I see him, a tall figure in a long coat, standing by the side of the road, just waiting. Each time I catch a glimpse of him, my stomach tightens. A cold knot forms in my chest. Something about the way he stands there, unmoving, makes the hair on the back of my neck rise. I try to tell myself it's just coincidence, but deep down, I know better. One of these nights, he won't just be waiting, he'll be looking for me.